following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob Deininger with Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and I'm here with Jack Degraw, and we are talking Yankees baseball. How you doing, Jack?
Good. How are you tonight, Robert?
Not too bad. Yankees got off today, but yesterday was opening day around baseball. Unfortunately, we came up short. We lost in extras, but it was nice to have a regular season game start on time this year.
Yeah, it was nice to see some fans in the stands too.
Yeah, and you could hear them, and it's nice to hear the boo birds out, when the Yankees aren't producing, lets the players know, pick it up a little bit. Yeah,
they had numerous chances yesterday, and they didn't produce in the clutch, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, I think they went 3 for 19 with runners on base. They finished 0 for 10, and with runners in scoring position, they went 0 for 9. And so they had opportunities all day yesterday. They just couldn't get it done.
No, I mean, well, not that this means anything, Robert. Like we talked off air, I mean, I'm down here in spring training, and like the last week, 10 days of spring training, the offense was bad, and they just looked dead, and they seem to carry that attitude in the game into the first game. It's probably just a coincidence, but they struggled coming out of spring training too. They couldn't score any runs.
Yeah, it was also, I think, a little chilly. I think it was in the mid 40s or upper 40s to start the game, so it was a little chilly. But they did look a little. They look like the team I thought they were going to be. It's going to be a home run hitting team. Either they're going to score runs by hitting home runs, or they're going to struggle putting runs on the board. And that's kind of what I saw yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean that's the way the Yankees have been since like 2002. They just seem, they'll win a lot of games, but they leave a lot of men on base. I mean, even when they score 10 or 12 runs, you look what they do when there's runners in scoring position. It's usually not too good. No,
and the one guy who everyone's keeping an eye on, Gary Sanchez, he actually had a really good day yesterday. He was responsible for their 2 runs with the 2-run homer, and he even threw a runner out at second base, I think in the 7th inning. And he also had, I think, a walk or 2.
Yeah, you've seen all the pluses that Sanchez can bring to the team, and there is a lot of pluses. He'll hit homers, he'll knock in runs, and he's got an excellent arm. He's really got a fantastic arm, so he'll throw out a lot of runners. Yeah, and then one thing I also stuck out to me is Gleyber Torres at shortstop. I mean, he looks like a second baseman playing shortstop. He's just shortstop's just not his natural position. Yeah, I know when the Yankees got him from the Cubs, he was playing shortstop, and there was, when he was down here in A-ball, they were saying when he gets to the major leagues, most likely he'll be a second baseman. And if you're going to go anywhere, you better have excellent shortstop play because it catches up to you. I think in the 5th game against the Rays, he made some blunders. It didn't necessarily have to be errors, but he's lacking at shortstop. Yeah, because he allowed one ball to get past him when he tried backhanding it. I think it was what inning was it? I forget what inning it was, but he went for a backhand and he missed it. And then the next 2 batters lined hard singles to center, and Toronto took the lead 1-0. And he also had one in the 9th where he threw it nonchalant. He threw it to first and allowed a leadoff single, even though no runs scored. You could just tell he looks like a player playing out of position. I mean, he's good, but he scored. Yeah, I mean he's good, but I mean you could tell it's not his natural position. No, I mean there was talk in the winter that the Yankees trying to get Lindor and stuff. So I think you have to. Well, you don't know. It's only one game, but he definitely has to step up his defensive play this season. Yeah, and
the thing we're talking off air that bothered me was Clint Frazier batting ninth in the lineup. I mean, I would have preferred to see him higher up in the lineup. You know, maybe where they got Urshela batting and they got him batting behind Torres at number 6. I'd rather see Clint Frazier batting 6 and move someone else down, because Clint Frazier yesterday, he went 2 for 3, drew a walk in the ninth, in the bottom of the ninth. I mean, he's just the guy that has shown that he could drive in runs, and he's got a great bat. I mean, he can get on base. He can hit the ball. And I don't see the advantage batting him batting him ninth.
Yeah, I mean, when he was with the team a couple of years ago, before he got sent down, he was batting cleanup.
Yeah.
You know, initially I thought, well, maybe they just want to take the pressure over him, having him bat ninth. But I think, you know, he should, like, you know, Urshela should be lower in the order, and you move Frazier up. And, you know, I'm not big. I know you're not on Hicks hitting third, but
no, not at all. Yeah,
you know,
Hicks is a guy that does a nice job of drawing walks, but I mean, he's not a great hitter. I mean, he's a career 235 hitter, I think. If you take out last year, he's more around 250. But you know, you want someone who can hit at batting number 3, especially come postseason time. I can understand why you have him batting third because of his on base percentage during the regular season, but it's typical Yankees. I just think we're going to see a lot of home runs, and then come postseason time against good pitching, they're going to struggle to score runs.
Yeah, I mean, they just seem when they need that big hit and stuff. I mean, they're going to win a lot of games, Robert. They're going to win in the 95, 100 and some games, but you know, they are lacking. It's not like you look at this team, you say there's a lot of positive. There's a hell of a lot more positives than negatives, but there's some things to be concerned about defensively, and too many strikeouts and not hitting in the clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stanton looked great during spring training, and I don't know if it was just the weather or what it was, but yesterday he had 3 strikeouts that I know of. I don't know if he finished with 4, but he struck out 3 times, including the bottom of the 10th. I mean, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll have a good year if he can stay healthy. I mean, he's a home run threat every time he comes up to the plate.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about Stanton. If he stays healthy, you know, he'll be productive. But you know, that's a big if, staying healthy.
Yeah, you know, and Voit, you know, he's started off the season banged up. It's he said a meniscus, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you know, hopefully they can stay healthy, relatively healthy for most of the year. I mean, if they can, I mean, I like their lineup. It's just a right-handed power hitting lineup. Yeah,
you know, you always like to have a couple of, you know, guys in there who can hit the ball around. You know, a hitter like LeMahieu.
Yeah.
You never can have too many of those kind of hitters, but it just seems after LeMahieu, you know, and maybe Urshela, you got power guys all over.
Yeah. You know, and they play tomorrow, and they got Corey Kluber pitching. And the strange with Kluber and that guy they got from Pittsburgh, Talon, they only had, I think, 1 inning total pitched in the last year or 2. And so you wonder how a full season is going to affect them. But if they can get anything good out of Kluber, I mean, if he's anything like he was when he won the Cy Youngs, I mean, then they got themselves a steal. But it's how many innings will he be able to pitch this year?
Yeah, that's a big concern with Kluber. And, I mean, when he's on, he's almost unhittable. I mean, I've never seen a ball move so much. But unfortunately, you know, if he's a little off, you know, his velocity is a little down. It's only in the low 90s. So if he's not flying with his pitches, you know, he could get a hit around a little bit. I mean, the Yankees will score a lot of runs for him, but you know, there is a concern with the pitching staff. There's no doubt. A lot of question marks.
Yeah, I do think Herman. I think Herman might surprise a lot of people. I think that rookie year wasn't a fluke. I know he didn't pitch last year, but he pitched in Dominican and pitched great, and he looked lights out in spring training. I think with him too, it'll just be an innings thing. How long can he go until he starts getting a little bit tired?
So I think he's someone who can win a lot of games for the Yankees this year behind Garrett Cole.
Yeah, I think he'll do well, and Montgomery. But like I keep saying it, Robert. I think we'll see Michael King this year. We'll see Clark Schmidt. We'll see Deivi Garcia. Hopefully these guys can step up. Jonathan Loaiza. So I don't think you have a 5-man staff. I think they got an 8 or 9-man staff.
Yeah, because Deivi Garcia, he looked great this spring training. I think he had one outing where he got he a little roughed up, but other than that, I mean, he was lights out too during spring training. I mean, you could see he got better from last year, just from what I saw this spring. And Jonathan Loaiza too, he was lights out this spring, and it wasn't long ago. I think it was a couple of years ago when he came up and he had to start because of an injury, and I think he went like 6-0 in 8 starts or something like that. So, I mean, he's someone who could be effective out of the bullpen, too, if they need him, or to spot start.
Yeah, there was talk last week we might see Deivi Garcia sometime in April pitching.
Yeah. I mean, he did. I mean, behind Herman looked great. And then Deivi Garcia was, I would say, right there with him this spring as far as the stuff. They would just look great.
Yeah, well, they're down here right now, Robert. I mean, the minor league camp starts tomorrow down here in Lyme.
Really?
So, so they'll be getting ready for the minor league season starting tomorrow, and it starts on May 4th. So I think you'll see a lot of guys coming up and down in the next month.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot. I would say Gary Sanchez getting off to a good start is a positive for the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the fans are down on him and stuff, and some of the criticism is just ridiculous. I mean, when they start personally attacking somebody's character, that's, you can bitch about their play, but, just leave it there.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as last year was, I think we both agree, Robert. I mean, he can hit homers and knock in runs, and a lot of catchers can do that. Yeah,
in fact, he went 2 for 3 yesterday with Gary Sanchez. He went 2 for 3 yesterday. And I think and he had a walk in there, I think, as well.
Yeah, he got the walk in the 9th inning, and they brought in Talkman, and he stole second and third, and the Yankees had a chance to win. They had LeMahieu up, and LeMahieu topped the ball to third. And Talkman got thrown out at the plate, but in the big situation, that's the guy you want. You want LeMahieu up at bat.
Yeah. Aaron Hicks yesterday. Yeah, he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Stanton also went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. You don't want your 3-4 guys to have 6 strikeouts. You got to produce better than that. Your 3-4 hitters.
Yeah, and I know Judge had a rough game too.
Yeah, he went 1 for 5, and he had that killer grounded into that double play with the bases loaded in the 7th. It was a perfect opportunity to put some runs on the board. That's
what happens quite a bit, Robert. You got when guys in the middle of the lineup are struggling, they all seem to struggle at once.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a strikeout parade, just one after the other.
Yeah. And I know there are a lot of Yankee fans that love Gio Urshela, and I think he's great defensively. I really do, but I don't think he's the hitter that some people think he is. And I just don't think he's going to hit close to 300 this year. I have a feeling about it. It's just a gut feeling.
Well, I mean, he's got the great glove, and I think the Yankees would be happy, if he hit 270, 275.
Yeah.
They got the lineup who can, pick up guys like that, but I don't know, Rob. I just the strikeouts are concerning, and they just leave so many men on base, and it's just it's been going on for like almost 20 years. So
yeah. I mean, you think with the kind of hitters they got, they were driving more runs than they do, but they do struggle with runners in scoring position, especially come postseason time.
Well, Yankee Stadium now, it didn't used to be, but now it's a hitter's park.
Yeah.
And I think, once these guys fall in love with the home runs, they don't want to go the opposite field. Or,
yeah.
they don't want to do anything different. One of the things that was fun to see in spring training against the shift, Hicks actually bunted a couple times.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if you've seen that once in a while too.
Yeah, or a hit and run.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Toronto, I'll tell you, Toronto, if they can get some pitching, if their pitching can hold up, they got a good lineup, a lot of young talent over there, and they're basically not even playing at home. Then they got to play the whole season. Well, so at least for now, their whole season away from Toronto.
Yeah, they got a lot of professional hitters. These young kids, I mean, Cole pitched well yesterday. He pitched 5 1/3 innings, had 8 strikeouts, gave up 2 runs, but he threw 97 pitches. The Jays just are playing in Dunedin. They're playing the Angels. The Yankees come down here, the Braves, and the Nationals, and they just added like 9 more games in May. They're playing the Phillies, the Red Sox, and the Rays. So they're probably going to be down here till at least June.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Cole, he really only threw 1 bad pitch yesterday, and it was hit for a home run, which made it, at the time, 2-0 Toronto. But other than that 1 bad pitch by Cole, he pitched great. If Torres doesn't, if he doesn't miss that ball, maybe, they don't score that first run, and maybe the Yankees win that game 2-1. But Cole pitched well yesterday. Good enough to win.
Yeah, he's solid. That's somebody, every time you go out there, he goes out there, you got an 80% chance of winning. He's just, one of the best in the game.
Yeah, and I'm really starting to like that Nick Nelson. He pitched an inning with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, I believe he got the loss.
Yeah.
One of the they hit a drive over Judge's head, but he's got a good live arm. He's a good addition to the team. I mean, he can come in as a power guy, and you always like power guys, the bullpen who come and get you a big strikeout.
And I hate that rule of starting the extra innings with the runner on second. I'll never get used to it. And even Michael Kay, he said when the 10th inning started, he panicked. He had a moment of panic because he didn't know how that runner got on second base. He thought he missed a play. He had a moment where he completely forgot that the rule is you put a runner at second to start extra innings. He completely forgot about it and thought he missed the play.
Yeah, I mean, they're ruining a great game is what they're doing. I mean, that's an awful rule. I mean, last year, okay, maybe, I can see it, but, I personally, I think in most old-time baseball fans, they hate that rule.
Yeah, and are they using a time clock or something like that on pitchers in the National League?
They used it a couple years ago, like in spring training and stuff, and I'm not really sure what the rules are. I mean, they seem to change all the time. I know they got a lot of rules in the minor leagues this year they're trying out. So to answer the question, Robert, I really don't know.
Right. Yankees, they got 2 more games with Toronto, and then they got 3 with Baltimore, 3 with Tampa Bay, and then they got 3 more with Toronto and Tampa. So they're basically playing the American League East up until the 20th of April when they play the Braves. So it's all American East.
Yeah, you figure they'd open up against the Jays, and then they got the Orioles, and then they come back. They come back to Florida, and they play the Rays and the Jays. So they're going to face the competition right off the bat. These are the teams that their division. They're going to be their competition.
Yeah, I'm interested. I want to see what Tampa Bay's like. I know they traded their ace in the off season, but I expect them to be competitive. They're always up there, and they're always a pain in the Yankees' backside.
Yeah, they always find a way to put a outstanding team on the field, and I think this year, they'll find a way to win their share of games.
Yeah. Is there any opening day games that you remember that stand out to you?
The only games I remember, Robert, I went to 2 Yankee opening days. 1970, it was Thurman Munson's first opening day. And I got home from school. My mom says, we're going to the Yankee game this afternoon. It was like a midweek game. And I think they had maybe 18,000 fans there. And the Red Sox won 4-3. And then I went to one opening day, and I think it was 93 or 94. And Jim Abbott shut out the Royals. I remember sitting in the bleachers. And in 79, I went to see the Phillies and the Pirates. It was Pete Rose's first opening day, and the game got snowed out the day before. So that's my 3 opening games. But the one I remember was 1970, because when you're a kid, you remember everything.
Yeah, I remember the one with was it 1996 when it was snowing out? Andy Pettit.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was snowing in Detroit yesterday when they were playing, but that's the game that sticks out in my mind. Is the game played in the snow. And Pettit pitched great. I think he pitched 6 1/3, only gave up 3 runs on 2 walks and 6 hits, but not bad for pitching in the snow.
Yeah, it was almost like a blizzard there at one point and stuff.
Yeah, and I think Derek Jeter that game was batting 9th. I think he was batting 9th, and I think he won. I think 1 for 3. I think he won 1 for 3, and he was batting 9th in the lineup that day. You're so used to him batting in that 2-hole, but that was his second. I think that was his first full season as a Yankee. Was in '96. I know he came up in '95 at the end of the year, so I think '96 was his rookie year.
And if I'm not mistaken, that year, 96, I think the Yankees might have opened up in Cleveland. And Jeter hit a home run, and he made a great over-the-shoulder catch. I remember the scooter was going crazy. And then I remember Matt Suey hitting a grand slam opening day, Bobby Mercer hitting a grand slam opening day. And in 69, the Yankees opened up in Washington, and Bobby Mercer and Jerry Kenney hit home runs. So that's my opening day memories.
Yeah, going back to the 96 game, Girardi replaced Mike Stanley from the year before, and Tino replaced Don Mattingly. And both of them were booed during the pregame ceremonies.
Yeah. I remember going to the Yankee Fan Fest in like February of 96, and they actually they were booing Girardi because Mike Stanley had a great year. That he had a couple of years with the Yankees, all these grand slams, but it was tough. Taking over, and Girardi had the big triple in the World Series that year in '96.
Yeah, and watching it, Joel Sherman. We were talking off there. He wrote a piece in the Post today, and he captioned it when he posted to Facebook with "The Yankees welcome fans back to their home with a reminder that their shortstop is a second baseman, and they have trouble scoring when they don't hit the ball out of the ballpark." And I think that's what we're going to see, this year. Is just a team that's they're either going to win by hitting home runs and, live by the home run, die by the home run.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have stretches when they look like world beaters. They're going to hit 4 or 5 home runs, 6 home runs in some games, and then, they'll win 13-1, and then the next night they'll lose 3-2 and leave 15 men on the base.
Yeah. And I wish to God they would move Hicks out of the 3 spot, but Hicks, that's his spot, but I would at least like to see Frazier start to be slowly moved up the order, if not, right away. I think the Yankees could benefit with Luke Voit being out, at least moving Frazier up in the lineup until Voit gets back, because he is a good. I think he can produce and knock in some runs.
Well, yeah, Frazier's an RBI guy. Hicks really isn't.
Yeah.
Frazier has shown that he can knock in runs. And Hicks, since he's been in the big leagues, I'm not knocking him as a player. He covers ground center field, and, he's a decent hitter. But I think offensively, Frazier is, just a heck of a hitter.
Yeah, because Aaron Hicks does a great job of drawing walks. But, as far as hitting goes, he's, I think, a career .235 hitter. And if you take away last year, he's around a .250 hitter. So he's not someone who's that good at the plate. And when you got him batting third, if he's not walking, then he's really not helping you.
Well, they probably have some analytics out there that.
Yeah.
So we've been through that and stuff. I sort of like to see Frazier third and Hicks ninth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just pulled up Hicks' numbers. He's a career .234 hitter. His on-base percentage is .332, which is good, but, he's not a good hitter. So, and when you face tough pitching, you want someone who can hit batting third, especially in the postseason. I don't care what analytics say.
Yeah, the postseason is a whole different thing. What you're going to do in May and June, but when you get into a big game in the series or the playoffs, you throw all that crap out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, the Yankees didn't do it last year, and the Rays didn't do it last year, and I remember a couple of years ago, I think the Nationals with Strasburg, they held him out of the playoffs. So, you only get so many chances.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't count last year, Hicks averages only about 102 games a year with the Yankees, so he misses a lot of time with injuries as well. So you see if he can play a whole season without being hurt or spending a lot of time on the IL. Yeah,
and I believe they still have him for another 4 seasons. The Yankees got decisions to make with Sanchez, with Judge, with Torres. You can't sign everybody. So, we got to see how everything plays out.
Yeah, and to me, I think Judge is the leader of the team, the face of the team, and that to keep him, you're going to have to shell out some big bucks to keep him.
Yeah, and if he can't stay healthy, then, you've really got some tough decisions to make.
Yeah, because I think Stanton and Judge have only played together in something like 33 games. That's
too many. And a couple of weeks ago, when Wayne Unger was on the show, he brought up I thought, Judge had a lot more at bats than Stanton, and it's only maybe like 120 more at bats. I thought Judge would have, 300 or 400 more. So it's pretty close. I didn't realize that Judge has been hurt almost as much as Stanton.
Yeah, and one of the reasons they bat Judge, second in the lineup is because they're trying to get him that extra at bat per game, get him as many at bats as possible. But he's been hurt a lot the last several years.
Yeah, and there's another thing. Maybe move Judge to third and have Hicks bat in second.
Yeah, because the one thing about Aaron Judge, it seems like he's always in a 3-2 count. The one thing he does do well is he makes a pitcher work.
Yeah. Well, the Yankees do that exceptionally well. That's one of the reasons they've been so successful, is because, they make the pitcher pitch. They swing good pitches.
Yeah, and Stanton, I do believe if he could stay healthy, he's a guy who, when he gets in those home run streaks, he can carry a team. I've seen him do it with Miami. That guy can, I mean, especially last year in the postseason, I think he hit 6 home runs or 5 home runs in 6 games or something like that, in 7 games, something like that.
Well, he was the MVP for a reason. So, the first year with the Yankees, 38 homers, 100 RBIs, and if he can stay on the field, he can carry a team.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing also that I'm going to look out for this year is if their outfield can stay healthy with Hicks, Judge, and Stanton, the 3 guys in the middle of their lineup, they can stay healthy.
Well, you know how it's worked the last couple of years.
Yeah.
If we see Brett Gardner out there for 400 at bats,
something went wrong. And as great as Luke Voigt's been, he seems to also always be dealing with a nagging injury, So I hope, when he gets back, there's not something else that pops up later on in the season, because he seems to always have a little injury here or there.
Yeah. Well, it was good, if he needed that operation on the meniscus to get it done now, because they do have Bruce, and that holds off a decision, be Talkman and Bruce, and then they got Darren Dietrich down here too, and Tyler Wade. So, there'll be just some decisions in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and with the schedule coming up, it's going to be nice to see which the team. It's either going to be Tampa or Toronto, in my opinion, they're going to be the team that's going to be fighting with the Yankees this year. So I think Baltimore will be Baltimore, and I think Boston's in a complete rebuild. So I think it's it's Yankees' division to lose, and I think the only 2 teams that are any kind of threat are Toronto and Tampa.
Well, they got these teams early. They'll have them like 6 games apiece in probably the first 20 games. So, they'll be, up against it. They know what, they'll be facing for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I can't believe baseball's back. I can't believe it. I thought for sure the season would start, later than, like in May or something. But it's nice that it started on time.
Yeah, with what everybody's going through, it's nice to have, it's nice to have some entertainment, and it's great.
Yeah.
They let fans into the stands. Of course, the tickets are so damn much you can't go to the games.
Yeah.
But unless you have the secondary market, I'll throw something crazy at you, Robert. For the last couple exhibition games down here in Tampa, you could go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This Sunday and the 3 games next week against the Orioles for less money than you go for a spring training game.
Jesus. Holy cow.
That's how the secondary market, SeatGeek, StubHub, it was just nuts. I mean, some of the tickets down here, to stand in the outfield was $80.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then you can go see the 4 games in New York for like $70. So it's just nuts.
I'm just glad that they have 10,000 fans in the stands. It's nice to hear the boo birds when the Yankee players aren't hitting. It's a nice reminder to them, to pick it up. I like it when the fans get on the players' cases when they're not doing so well. So it's nice to have fans in the stands again this year, even if it's only 10,000.
Yeah, I mean Yankee fans are passionate, and if you're winning, they'll let you know, and if you're not playing well, you'll hear about it too. So and the bleacher creatures, the little that there were, they were doing the roll call yesterday. So I mean, it was nice to have some fans in the stands. Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But next Friday when we talk, we'll have a whole slate of games to talk about. It'll be a little bit more of a sample size. One game is just one game.
Yeah, we'll get to see Kluber and Cole again, and Telion and Herman. So there'll be 5 or 6 more games we can talk about. So that's always good. Maybe I can get some more minor league news.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Kluber, and I like to see if Herman, he was lights out in spring training. I like to see if that continues into the regular season. I know playing up north, it's going to be chilly for the first month or so, but It'd be nice to see something out of those two pitchers.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great. It's great. It's back, Yankee baseball, and we all need something to be happy about.
yeah, and Jordan Montgomery. I mean, I forget what his stats were in spring training, but he quietly had a really good spring. So anxious to see what he can do this year.
Yeah, the starting pitching down here in spring training was outstanding. So hopefully they can carry it over.
Yeah, and like you said, I think we'll see Davy Garcia sometime in April too. I mean, he was great too in spring training.
Yeah, they're down here in they're down here in Tampa, throwing simulated games or live BP. So he'll be ready when they need him. In April, there's a lot of off days and probably a lot of snow days. So at some point, I think we'll see him in April.
Yeah. Next Friday, same time, Jack?
Yep, sounds good, Robert. We'll have a lot more to talk about then.
Oh, absolutely. All right, to all the listeners out there, we'll catch you next week.
Take care.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.